Hey everybody, my name is Mars, and today I want to talk to you about how to defend against a rally. Before I get into that, I want to let you guys know that I'm doing a special Christmas Santa workshop for players trying to learn how to build an account, how to build a strong account, and doing that without money, with some money, and maybe even a few tips for spenders. So that will be on the 20th at 2000 game time. So I hope to see you all there, and let's get into it. So one of the big things that you want to consider when you look at taking a rally is you want to look at your troops and look at the troops that they're attacking you with. And you want somewhere between a 3-to-1 ratio. You want to have 3 times the amount of troops as they're attacking you with. And that also is going to be determined by your stats compared to theirs and your heroes available to defend the wall with compared to what they have. So you kind of have to do a mix and matching game to be able to really take advantage of your troop types. You kind of know what counters what. So archers counter infantry, cavalry counters archers, and obviously infantry counters the wonderful lancers and cavalry. So those kind of mix and match. When defending a rally, you will notice that often cavalry gets a lot of kills, and this is because they can just kind of run and come in and kill without having to worry about getting hit at all. And so they really clean up during a rally, especially if you have the numbers and you have a good strong front line with infantry. Now let's look at a few heroes. These are one of the biggest determining factors of rallies. So the two that you want to be really cautious of, and the one that you actually want to be the most cautious of, is Bige. Now Bige is a crazy powerful hero when it comes to rallies, and especially against castles. The reason being is because his spiritual possession ability makes him extremely strong. He allows you to have a chance of going and dodging all of the incoming attacks from melee troops. So that's all troops with range 1. So that's rams, that's infantry, that's cavalry, except for the archer cavalry. So all of those troops just avoid that, and they're able to attack with no retribution from any of those troops. And often in our meta, that is the troops that most people have. So they take a mass amount of damage. So to counter this guy, the most obvious answer is archers. And there's some other ways to do it, but they're just not as strong as Bige. So Bige has been a big problem for me personally, and for many other players also. So often, if you're getting rallied by a Bige, unless you have a considerable amount of archers or you're just much stronger than them, you may want to consider not taking the rally and to fight another day against a different combo. The other very, very powerful one is Gideon. Now Gideon, it's his fixed ability that's crazy. So yes, his battle hymn increases attack and defense, which is really important and good. But then he has this spear infantry deal an additional 35% damage. So this is a little bit different than the damage that you see from like Ryu or any of these siege or cavalry heroes. This is an actual additional damage on top of the damage that you're already doing. It stacks a little bit different, and it's a lot more powerful. And this single ability right here makes Gideon insane, especially with T11 infantry being the strongest troop in the game. except for in certain circumstances. But Gideon is a very dangerous combo, and if you combine him with Bige, you can do some mass damage. So unfortunately, the best combo that I've seen so far to defeat this is Kona, the archer hero, and Arata, the other archer hero here. And those two seem to do the best going against that combo. Now you do need a lot of archers, and mostly I've seen these good results from defending throne against Bige and Gideon. But I suspect it would also work quite well in a castle. But the problem is you still have a whole bunch of infantry in there that can still take damage while they're not able to defend themselves or fight back. So heroes are very important. Now Jansen will reflect some of the damage, but that's only 20% of the damage. And yes, 20% of the damage is really good, and you're not taking that 20% and you're reflecting it back on them, but that doesn't always result in kills. And the same thing goes with Chojin. Chojin is maybe a little bit stronger about countering this, but your troops actually have to die to deal the damage. So yeah, it's kind of like, hey, my troops are gonna die, but at least I get to do some damage to you on the way out. So it's good, but unfortunately I don't think it is the correct way to counter a Bige Gideon combo. Jansen on the walls, not the worst idea, but it's not the best either. For non-spender players, Ren Steel Shaper is really good, and you can put Ogd on the wall. That's Ogd Mali here, but I would probably suggest, if you're a non-spender, to go with Rafi, just because he has really, really strong stats. And you can use Shield Wall, you can use Wall Defender, you can use all the infantry attack buffs and whatnot on those heroes. You can do it in those different ways, but if you're an infantry player, I would go with those. If you're a siege player, if you have Mina or Chojin or Ashira, one of those, you could actually do a Chojin Ren Steel Shaper. That would be a really good combo. If you're cavalry really strong, I actually suggest maybe doing a Ren Steel Shaper to kind of give you some beef in the front, so that you can utilize your cavalry. And then I would use the Ru Anga, her right here, to just deal as much damage with your cavalry to defend against rallies, if you're gonna play that way. I've kind of found myself very mixed about when I have mostly cavalry in my castle left, like at the end of a KVK. I've found that even still, buffing up all of my HP and everything really seems to help, and then adding in that extra attack and extra damage with Ryu. So when it comes to that, that's really important. Also making sure there's, most of the time, if you're a larger castle, they're gonna rally you with multiple rallies. You gotta really work on timing, getting that shield spell up so that you only take one. You don't want to take multiples. Multiples typically aren't a very good thing. You have to be a very elite player to do that, and maybe some of you are and you can do that, but typically the second rally, unless you're very certain that you're going to be the better player, you're going to want to take one. And I actually do encourage, if you have the water, to really push yourself to see what your castle can do, unless you're really close to winning KVK and you think that taking a rally might give them too many points, then don't do it. But testing yourself, knowing what your limits are, figuring which troop combos, your ratios with troops are really important. Now, Kingsguard, I want to talk about them real quick. Now, I want to say if you're watching this in the future and they've done an update, I do think Kingsguards may have changed in their importance in the game, but currently right now, they're more of a liability when it comes to rallies. So I would suggest leaving maybe only 100,000 of the Kingsguard in your castle and removing them. And if you're getting a cavalry charge against you, I suggest removing your trebuchets out of your castle and kind of making your back line a little more melee heavy. So taking out some of your archers, taking out some of your trebuchets, so that if they are able to charge through the back, if they're able to get their horses to go around the back, it's not going to hurt as bad and you're going to be able to defend it. Well, that is a quick wrap up of how to defend against a rally. If I missed anything or anything, go ahead and give me a shout out. I will do my best to answer your questions. I kind of did this off the fly. I'm trying to get this out. And once again, December 20th, that is Friday my time, but I believe Thursday game time, I don't know. December 20th at 2000. So that's 4 hours before KVK. I'm going to be doing a Christmas, I gotta say it's Christmas. Rise of Kings wants me to do a Christmas stream, but I'm going to do a workshop, and I also am going to be giving away a few presents to some friends, and it's going to be just a really great time. Alright guys, if you really like my videos, like them, comment, and subscribe, and we'll continue on going through this rogue thing together. Alright, later guys.